Income tax on IRAs. That's what we're going to talk about here today. I'm telling you, it's going to be called income with respect to decedent, IRD. And I can almost guarantee you most people are going to turn away right now. Don't do it. I'm telling you, the IRD tax, the rules are huge and you've got to understand them as you're building up an estate plan. I don't even care how much money you have. If it's in an IRA, someone's going to pay tax on it, be it you or as IRD, which again is income with respect to decedent. And many people think IRD only is applicable to trust. Absolutely, nothing could be further from the truth. The biggest source of IRD is from IRA, 401k, 403bs, variable annuities, and TSP. So welcome to Heritage Wealth Planning, the place where you come to learn about IRD, and that goes with your IRA. Very interesting, huh? Lots of acronyms. I want to introduce you to my new whiteboard. Look at this. This is like 4x3, I think. So remember my friend Skip Ritchie, the attorney, disability attorney. He's got a YouTube channel now too. So if you're interested in disability and just legal stuff, he had a great video just the other day on how to file a appeal on a disability case. It was fantastic. Definitely go to Skip Ritchie Disability Law, I think is what it's, Skip Ritchie Disability Law, and subscribe to him. It's good. Anyway, so when he was down here doing videos with me, I had a smaller, I'll show you, whiteboard. Let's see if I can get my ball out of there. Look at this guy. This is the one I was using before. Not very big, huh? This guy cost 25 bucks, I think. And Skip's like, no, man, go to Lowe's, get something called shower board. And I was like, what's shower board? Well, this is it. I don't really know what it is. I don't think I'd want that in my shower because it is, you know, it's kind of not cardboardish, whatever I'm looking for, the other word. But anyway, I don't think I want that in my shower. But anyway, so I asked for a shower board, and here you go. 4x3, I think it's cost $6 or $7, and it works freaking awesome. It's 10 times better, and it works better. All you got to do is put these little clips up here to get it on there. I love it. So I'm going to be using this a lot. All right, so this is my test case with my new shower board, which is fantastic. So let's talk about IRD, and this is going to be a pretty quick and simple one because I just want to really test this out more than anything. All right, let's say you're 65 years old. We'll just say you're 65, all right, years old. All right, and you see his shakes. I got to put another clip right here. That'll make it work better, but I'll do that tomorrow. All right, so you're 65 years old. You got $250,000 in an IRA. And you got, I don't know, $50,000 in another IRA. And there's a reason I'm splitting these two up for a reason. All right, so what you can do in these two IRAs, once you hit 70, is you can take your RMDs from one and just let this guy grow and grow and grow. Now, the 401k or 403b, you can't do that. You have to take your RMD. And again, RMD's required minimum distribution that happens when you're 70 and a half years old. So let's just say 70, as I always say, do not wait till the April 1st of the year following when you turn 70 and a half. Don't do that because then you got to pay 2 RMD taxes in that 1 year, and that just you're making your tax brackets that much higher, which could affect many things. So just take it when you hit 70. We're going to say 70. So if you follow the YouTube channel, we know RMDs are 70.5, but for now on, we're going to say 70 for simplicity. Right. So what you're doing is you're saying, look, I'm going to divide these two IRAs into 2 buckets. This is my growth bucket. This is my RMD bucket. All right, this is the money I'm going to use for income. This is the money I'm going to use for later on, offset inflation, maybe leave to my surviving spouse, maybe leave to my kids. So I'm going to take it from, I can do that. So this one I'm not going to touch. This one I'm going to divide it into 2 accounts. That's what I used to do all the time with people. I say, look, again, we don't want taxable bonds in a non-IRA. We don't want taxable bonds in a Roth IRA. We want taxable bonds in a traditional IRA or 401k. So here would be my bonds. All right, so we'll just say bonds. And we're going to say this is all we got. So I can draw my RMDs off. And here's my stocks because I want the growth. I hope so far so good. So now what happens is when you hit 70, we'll just say these haven't grown at all. We take 300,000 divided by 27.4. In our first year RMD, 300,000, we know it's about 3.6%, divided by 27.4, so we'll have an RMD about $11,000. All right, so basically $11,000, I'm not going to write that down, $11,000 would be our first year RMD, required minimum distribution. And we'll just pull it from this guy for just simplicity. All right, so now I want to erase this. So now let's say we're Oh, this is where it's going to get fun, my new board. Let's see how it works. This is the first time I've done this. Skip, Richie, you better be telling me the truth on how this works. We shall see if it works. This isn't the first time. I did mess around with it before I put it up on the wall. Just want to make sure it works. Yeah, I got to secure that a little bit better. We'll get that done tonight. Put a couple more screws. It does take a 1/4 inch drill bit to get that hole. So just if you're going to put one up in your garage or something like that, you want a 1/4 inch drill bit. And then they got the anchors in there too. That actually works out real well. It's weird though. That doesn't really secure it as much as I would have thought, but it works. All right, so now let's just say fast forward. Now we'll just say you're, I don't know, 75 years old. And now let's say this $50,000 account is worth $35,000 because you've had RMDs you had to come out. And this $250,000 account, it grew 7.2% a year. All right, so now 250 is now 500,000. All right, and because remember the rule of 72, and let's just draw that down. If you have an interest, whatever your interest rate is, we'll say it's 7%. Divide 72 by 7, you get 10 years. That's how long it takes something to double. So we had 250,000 before when we were 65. It grew at 7% a year, which means it doubled in 10 years. So now we're at 75, and that account's worth $500,000. That's called the rule of 72. In fact, let me do something else here. Let's try my trusty eraser. Yeah, the eraser doesn't work as well as a liquid there. This works okay. I like it clean. So I have to come back and spray that down. So here's a quiz for you guys. Ready? 72. Let's say you got 8% a year. How long would it take your money to double if you got 8% a year? Well, you do the rule of 72. So 8% is my interest. Divide into 72. That means in 9 years my account would double. Now, why that's important, let's just use this for an example. We got $100,000. In 9 years, it'll be worth $200,000. In 18 years, it'll be worth $400,000. I mean, that's literally, because don't forget, it's doubling here, doubling again. It's compounding interest. So the rule of 72, if I got 9% a year, or 8% a year, in 9 years, it'll be doubling, and then in another 9 years from that, it'll be quadrupling. So let's erase that, because there's something else I want to show you on this while we're just going on this little tangent. And that's what makes this easy, actually, when you think about it. You say, how can I expect a rate of return? What would my account be with my rate of return? Well, just simply use the rule of 72. You can find out real quickly. Now, this is not assuming additions or withdrawals. This is just assuming that I'm getting a simple, I'm just having $250,000 I'm leaving in there because my RMDs are coming from another account. So rule of 72, 5%. All right, now I know what this is 14.4. We'll just say 14 years. So 72 divided by 5 is 14.4 years, which means $100,000 in 14 years will be worth $200,000. And in 20 years will be worth, 28 years will be worth $400,000. So 28 years to get to $400,000, whereas the other one was 18 years. In fact, the interesting thing is, in the other case where I was getting 8% rate of return, so 18 years is worth $400,000, which meant in 27 years it'd be worth $800,000. The difference between 8 and 5% is amazing. In 28 years, at 5%, you're only going to have $400,000 here. And 27 years at 8%, you'll have $800,000. That's amazing. All right, so don't take that lightly when it comes to how much the rate of return you can get. People say, I can get 5%. That's fine. I'll be comfortable with that, and you might be. I got no problem with that. Yeah, I'll definitely use get some cleaner napkin there to wipe this off. All right. So let's do this. Yeah, much better. I like it clean. All right. So we got $500,000 in there. We're 75 years old. And again, we're saying we're going to get 7% a year. So now we're 85 years old. We got $1 million. We started with 250. That's 65, 75, 85. Now this account is zeroed out because we're splitting up our RMD. This is our RMD account, and this is our growth account. Okay, so far so good. So now, when we're 85 years old, the RMDs, I don't even know what it is. I don't have my calculator here. The RMD table, I don't know. Let's just say he's divided $1 million by, I guess 11%, we'll say. So let's say in this case, our RMD is $100,000 for simplicity. All right, so now we have an RMD of $100,000, which leaves us $900,000 when we get hit by our proverbial bus. So $900,000 when we get hit by that bus. You with me so far? So now we're dead. We're just leaving our children $900,000 at their death, at our death, which not too shabby. Not too shabby. But how much of that $900,000 are they going to get? All right, this is where IRD comes in. IRD. Income with respect to decedent. $900,000. 100% taxable as ordinary income. 100% taxable as ordinary income. And this is what happens. We have studies that say the vast majority of time this account will be zeroed out in 2 years. The vast majority of time. So 2 years from now. Zero. And the reason for that is quite simple. All of a sudden out of nowhere, your heirs, your kids, who've been living okay, but now they get a $900,000, or if you have 3 kids, $300,000 each, man, they're going to spend that money quicker than you can blink an eye because they've had their eyes on various things. And that doesn't mean it's bad. They might give it to charity. They might put their kids in private school and college. But don't forget, you're 85 years, well, I don't have it up there. You're 85 years old. So you're dead. Now your kids are 65. So maybe 60 to 65 years old. It's not like they're spring chickens, but they have to get their own retirement in order. And if they have a mortgage, they have student loans, something like that, they're going to take that entirety of that $900,000 out and they're going to spend it. All right. Now they think, oh man, I got $900,000 from mom. That's great. I'm going to go ahead and spend that and buy that lake house or help my retirement account. I mean, they're going to do whatever they're going to do. But if they take or pay off their mortgage or buy a beach house or something like that, but if they take a 100% distribution on that, $900,000, what does that do to their tax bracket? It puts them in the highest tax bracket. Which means, and that's without any income. They don't have to have any money. So $900,000 times 0.35, they're going to lose $315,000 in taxes. What does that give us? $585,000 left. So, I don't know about you. You could have had that money going to many, many different things other than the IRS. That's IRD, income with respect to decedent. That money, that $315,000 is gone. Never mind how much money you got to take out to pay for your own RMD. And again, if you know what I'm talking about when it comes to widow's tax trap, most likely when you were dead, when you were 85 years old, your spouse was dead. It was just you. We'll say she, because she, it might be a lady, it might be a man, typically it's a woman, she survived her spouse, her husband. And so she'll now have that $100,000 of required minimum distribution she had to pull because of required minimum distributions. She had to pay income tax on it, and that right there alone, without any other further income, just that right there alone is going to put her in a huge category for Medicare premiums, a higher tax bracket. What I talk about in my book, The Tax Bomb and Your Retirement Plans. But that's not the end of the story. Now your wife your wife died because she had a heart attack because she couldn't believe the tax that she had to pay, and she was so stunned that she fell over and killed her and died. Hit her head on a chair and was dead because she couldn't believe the taxes. She fainted, and now she's leaving $900,000 to the kids, but the kid's going to take the whole thing out and pay 35% tax on it because that puts them $900,000 is the highest tax bracket without any regard to whatever their income is whatsoever. So they're going to lose $315,000 on it as well. But here's the problem. When they get that $900,000 and they call it Vanguard or USAA or whatever, they say, I want to take a once lump sum distribution. USAA, because I was on that, they said, you want to withhold taxes? No, I don't want. I want the whole thing. Okay, well, you realize there will be a taxable event. You're going to have to pay tax. We'll send you 1099, blah, blah, blah. Yep. I just give me the money. All right, here's Mr. Sir. Here's a $900,000. Have fun with it. Well, I'm gonna have fun. Wait a few months, they go fill out their tax forms in March or April next year, and they get a tax bill of $315,000. But what happened to $900,000? Oh, it's in that lake house up there in Lake Kiwi, in South Carolina. Is that what it's called, Kiwi? I think it's Kiowa or something like that. In South Carolina, or North Alabama lakes, or a Sebago Lake in Maine, wherever you want to be, Lake Michigan. They have it in that house. Well, how are they going to pay this tax bill? Because taxes, real estate doesn't cover tax. You can't just say, take a lien on my house, IRS. I mean, they can do whatever they want, but they want cash money. That's what they want. They want cash money, but you don't have cash money as a kid because you invested in that house up the street, or you paid off your own mortgage or something like that, or you took a cruise, or you gave it away. I don't know, but you had the taxes not withheld, which means the taxes are going to be paid 6 to 8 months after your mom died, which means where's the money going to come from? And I would just say to the mom and dad, John and Jane YouTube we talk about, man, you could have used that $300,000 for your own purposes, either as a gift to the kids, however you wanted to do it. But it'd be much, much better in your pocket somehow to give to the church, give to the charity, give to your kids, give to, whatever you want to do, as opposed to leaving it to your kids to pay 35% on it. Now, don't get me wrong. You would have had to pay, say 10 to 12% tax on this money. It's not like it's free and clear. You're still gonna have to pay tax on the on your IRA. All right, you're gonna have to pay tax unless you leave it to charity. If you leave it to charity, it won't be taxable to you at all. That's a nice thing. You can leave it to charity if that's something you're inclined about. But if you just leave it to your kids and they take a lump sum distribution, it's over. Now your kids could say, I don't want the distribution, I'll just leave it to charity too, and that would void this right here. Okay, but you could have done the same thing too. And how many kids actually do that? The answer is not very many. That is IRD, my friends. IRD. Not a good thing to be ignorant of for sure. Thus, I do not like IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, TSPs. To the extent that you get a match, I like them. Anything above and beyond that, I don't, because of this right here. Never mind the fact required distributions are MDs, and what it can do to your IRA, what it can do to your tax bracket, what it can do to your Medicare premiums, what it can do to your capital gains and income, or capital gains and qualified dividends, and what it can do to your Social Security tax as well. So I like RMDs very little. I like IRD not at all. There's no getting around that other than the fact that you need to start planning now to avoid big taxes now. Pay a little bit of tax today to avoid a lot in the future. All right, so I hope you like my new whiteboard. I love it. I gotta get this. I'll get this knocked down. Maybe I ought to do one over here too. That's a good idea. Well, yeah, that might not be a bad idea to tighten up, but I still like it better before because it's bigger. If you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, put them down below, and we'll see you. No, don't forget to subscribe. Go to heritagewealthplanning.com, the blog, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.